Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Turks back with another video, and today we're going to be doing a video on bans and how to reduce these bans. So if you are experiencing bans in your botting adventure, or you have experienced at least one ban, then welcome to the club. I have been banned multiple times over the past few days here. I've been trying to compare some data points and basically see what I can do to reduce these ban rates. And I'm going to go over these points with you guys and hopefully provide some insight on how I can help you reduce your ban rates on your botting adventure also. So if you want to receive a deep analysis on the data that I'll be gathering over these coming weeks, then go ahead and subscribe and turn on the post notifications. This is all just a hypothesis. I'm not saying any of this is directly correlated to bans. It's just simply a hypothesis. But I mean, it's better than botting for 24 hours straight and getting definitely banned. So we're going to compare some things and basically collect some data over the next few weeks or months and basically provide some information to you guys and provide hopefully a visual analysis of basically all the data that I've collected over the time in the future. But let's get into it. So basically what I've learned is that Jagex collects data. This isn't a secret, and I mean it's inevitable. They want to basically increase their player base, and they want to find out more information about their game and what to change implements to make into their video game that they have created and things of that sort. So they are collecting data, but what type of data are they collecting? No one really knows. That's the thing. So they are using a variation of platforms to basically collect and analyze data. So some of the things that I've seen that they use are something called Snowflake, which is just a cloud platform to store all the data basically. They use another platform called Hadoop, which is something that they use to just simply analyze the data and then kind of separate this data into something that's more usable for them and comparable. So they can basically collect data on players that have been banned for botting and then collect their profile and kind of analyze the profile that they have built for this botting profile and just kind of store that into the botting data. And then they have regular players that are currently unbanned or something similar, and they have all this data stored in a regular player profile, and then they can compare these two profiles to your current profile. So yeah, as I was saying, they basically compare these two profiles to your current profile and then set flags accordingly. And if you reach this is all an assumption. This is all simply a hypothesis. If you reach a certain amount of flags on the botting profile, then they will go ahead and review your account and then ban you. If you reach, I guess, a threshold, they may automatically ban you, and they don't even have to go through this manual review. But we're gonna go over some of the information that I think that will help with ban rates, and hopefully provide some information to you guys and collect data over the coming weeks and months, and then provide some information for you. But let's go over the first one. So the first one is equipment. So dressing up your bots. We're gonna have one bot dress up after hitting a certain level and have one stick to the Bob outfit. It's simple as that. We're gonna compare the ban rates over 10 accounts each, 20 total, and see what the ban rates are like between those two. They're going to keep everything the same: the botting profile, the breaking profile, the type of things that they're going to be botting. So if they're both going to be mining, they're both going to be doing the same exact type of mining. They're both going to be doing the exact same activities. The only difference is going to be basically their outfit and their equipment that they currently have on. So upgrading equipment for efficiency and X skill. So for example, upgrading pickaxes or axes. So we're going to compare that data there, and we're going to see how that goes. I think the only way that this will help is maybe in terms of player reports, because you don't look like a bot, but maybe they actually collect the data on what type of equipment that you have, and it's just one more flag that they can set on your profile for botting. But who knows? I don't know what they collect. It's simply a hypothesis, like I said. Breaking. So we will have a few different breaking profiles. All bots will periodically break for 3 to 10 minutes to mimic AFKing. So things such as going to the restroom. You're going to go AFK for about 3 minutes, go take a piss or something like that, right? So we're going to implement that into all of our scripts that we create. But yeah, it's simply put. 8 hours playtime, a break at halftime with standard deviation about 1 to 2 hours. The bot will wake up at the same time with similar standard deviation. So basically just, I don't even know if this is the correct term to use, standard deviation, but I guess variance would be a better term. 8 hours. So we're going to basically wake up with maybe 1 hour less, 2 hours less, 2 hours more, 1 hour more. So it just depends. And we will wake up within 1 hour or 2 hours within that wake up time. So same thing applies. Probably a little bit less, maybe 1 hour up, 1 hour down, but we'll do that. We'll apply that into our script. I think where I have it at right now is probably like 30 minutes to an hour and a half as the deviation or the variance, and that's probably what I'm gonna keep it at for now. So 6 hours playtime, 12 hours playtime, and 4 hours playtime. They're all gonna follow a similar structure. They're all gonna break at about halftime, and then have these basically 3 to 10 minute breaks within the scripts to kind of mimic AFKing, and this will be within a span of like a normal human being. I'm gonna try and gather as much information on how often somebody uses the restroom and things like that, or how often somebody goes AFK and things like that, and then apply that to my scripts just to make it more human-like. A weekly max. So within breaking, we have weekly max. So each of these profiles will have a weekly max playtime. They can exceed this playtime if they're already on a breaking profile that is allowing them to play. Otherwise, that will be ignored when pulling accounts to be botted from. So 20 hours a week, 40 hours a week, 70 hours a week, and 100 plus hours a week. I have not implemented this. I have simply implemented 100 hours because I do not want to compare these values yet. I want to try and collect data on kind of these two things first and see which ones work out the best. And then we'll go ahead and move on to the weekly max, and then we'll move on to skill variation. But here's some data. If you guys want to take a look at these, pause the video and kind of see what the average person spends on RuneScape, or the amount of hours that the average person spends on RuneScape is. So 2 to 5 hours a day. And this is like some polls from about 2 years ago. And I kind of tried to put that into my my ban rates and how to reduce ban rates and implement it in similar structures. So 40 hours a week, 10 hours a week, and 70 hours a week, and 100 hours a week. So yeah. Let's see. Skill variation. We will apply skilling variation of how long the bot will train one skill before skilling in another area to gold farm. So for example, we will be botting mining for 1 day, and then we'll switch over to wood cutting, and then we'll switch over to fishing, and then we'll switch over to mining again, and we'll just kind of rotate, and we'll kind of randomly choose a skill. It doesn't always have to be the same, but it has to be different. The reason for doing this is kind of to lessen the gap between the two skills. So typically, if you're a gold farming, you will have 10. You'll have like level 10 cooking or something like that, right? And then you'll have level 60 mining, which is like insanely an insane gap between the two. But yeah, that's kind of telltale signs of a gold farmer, because you just have all this XP in one area. But we're gonna try and kind of add a little bit of a deviation between basically the gap. We're gonna try and just spread out our XP and kind of see if that has any effect on our ban rates. And I mean, that might not even be the only thing to consider. So whenever you're changing skills, you're not in one hotspot consistently for every single time that you log in, and you're just kind of changing the area that you're botting in. So maybe this has some kind of effect, your coordinates within the game, and staying within those coordinates for X amount of time, and how long you've been within those coordinates. That may have some kind of effect. So skilling variation may be an important thing to consider. The things that we're going to test is not changing the skill every other day, changing the skill every day, changing the skill every week, and changing the skill every login. Botting areas. For free to play, you're quite limited to the areas you can train in, but as you climb the skills, you will continue to unlock better areas to train, e.g. Cooking Guild. So maybe these areas will have better ban rates or less ban rates in terms of percentages and things of that sort, than something such as the Varrock West Bank and things like that. Or maybe a pay-to-play mining area is a lot more, it has a lot less ban rates because there's not as many people reporting you. It just depends. I think the only thing to consider here is just basically player reports and trying to stay away from player reports. Miscellaneous. other things that may affect ban rates but have not been proven to be viable variables, and to change quest points. Simply put, get more quest points on your account, see if that has any effect. Combat level, character creation model. What I mean by this is basically your Bob outfit. If you choose the default character creation model, or if you choose a custom one, does this have any effect? If it does have an effect, how much of an effect does it have, and is it proven to be a substantial variable when creating your accounts? Reporting other bots, so basically seeing other level 3s that have no equipment, or maybe one piece of equipment like a pickaxe, and if they do, then just report them. If that has any effect on our ban rates. We're going to test that in the future. I think that's going to be kind of like one of these anti-ban measures that I may implement in my bots. Routine. So following a routine, something such as waking up at a certain time or playing at a certain time, because typically people will follow a routine. They play games from 2 to 6 p.m. or something like that, or they get off work, they play from 6 to 10 p.m. every single day. Following this routine, will this reduce our ban rates? If it does, then we'll add it to the list and try and basically implement all these things to reduce these ban rates. Proxy service, this is something that it doesn't apply to the but have not been proven to be viable variables. It is just something that I added on afterwards. Yeah, so the proxy service, this is definitely something that you should look into and basically consider. Username is just basically not having a bot-like username, having something that a player would actually have. So something cool, or something that looks different, or something that actually seems like a username, something that doesn't say like random characters, or have like a random string of characters or numbers at the beginning and then a random string of characters, because nobody does that. People typically put a word at the front and then numbers at the back. So yeah, just changing the username, how will that have effects on our ban rates? And maybe this ties into player reports. So if somebody sees a bot-like username, they're probably going to report you. But yeah, I think these are all things to take into consideration. I hope if you guys have watched all the way through, you've kind of gathered some information in regards to these these variables that I've kind of considered as increasing or decreasing in ban rates. But yeah, if you guys do test these variables, let me know how they work for you. If you guys see any substantial reduce in ban rates, tell me what variable you tested, what kind of information that you've gathered from it, and how many accounts have been banned or haven't been banned, and things like that. Or if you guys have any ideas that I can add on to this, that would be great. I do not play RuneScape often, so there may be some things that I'm not considering that are that are popping out to you guys but aren't really coming to me. I will gladly implement them into this and then do some testing on it. But if you guys have enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on the post notifications if you want to be the first person to basically receive updates on my bot farm. And once again, I appreciate you guys for watching. Thank you. Goodbye.